Hey, welcome everybody. I have been a CEFALY user since 2015. I'm OG, and CEFALY was really the very first treatment for migraine for prevention that made a difference for me. Within a month, it cut my migraine days down by half and made it so I didn't have to take any other preventative medication that wasn't really helping in the first place. So fast forward, it's been almost 10 years that every single day I wear my CEFALY. I recommend it to everyone with migraine because it can not only be an effective migraine treatment, no side effects, but they have an amazing guarantee. If it doesn't do what it has done for me, for you, you can try it and see how it works. I've invited Chiara here from CEFALY to join us to answer your questions about how to use CEFALY. You guys submitted questions, but if you are here live, you can also share them directly. So thank you, Chiara, for being here and telling us all about CEFALY today. Maybe we'll start out, how does CEFALY work? Give us the lowdown.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And thank you, everybody, for sharing your questions and showing interest in our little but very powerful device. Also, Adrian, I love listening. I know your story by heart now, but it's always so nice to hear it. So Cephaly. So first of all, this is Cephaly, everybody. If there's anyone new here, this is our little device worn on your forehead. It stimulates and desensitizes that trigeminal nerve. How? By sending mild electric impulses or ETNS, and really like working that nerve. The trigeminal nerve is a nerve that connects behind your eye, your nose, and your teeth. So we have two modes, the preventative treatment and the acute treatment. So small device, but two treatments in one.
Thank you. Yeah, and that desensitization of the trigeminal nerve, I think that is a big one, that the trigeminal nerve is associated with migraine attacks. So that's why it works for so many people. How long has CEFALY been around? Can you tell us, like, when did it get started? What's the origin of CEFALY?
Yes, a great question. We started in 2004, so we are about to celebrate our 20-year anniversary. And as everybody know, we have a few devices on the market till our newest generation, which is this one, is the Cephaly Connected. We did so much progress, and we came so far. Even thanks to our community and their feedback, their requests. I feel like one of the reasons why we love and I love Stephanie on a personal level so much is because we listen to our customers' feedback. So if you have any other ideas, like, hey, I think that the next generation should have this and that, make sure that you send us an email or you call us because we're always open to listening to new ideas from you guys. Ultimately, you have to use the device. So the device is designed for your migraine needs.
Thanks, Kiara. Yeah, and I've noticed too, I started with like one of the original, the Star Trek looking one, and it's changed and upgraded over the years. And I've always found like your customer service has really been helpful. I mean, working with you guys, with the influencers, you guys understand migraine, you understand people living with migraine, and you've been an amazing company. So all the way around, we love CEFALY. Where and how can people purchase CEFALY?
Good
Do they
question.
need a prescription?
No, no prescription needed. If you have any questions, you can always go to your doctor. And, for example, if you're pregnant, we always recommend going to your neurologist. Although we know of a lot of women that have used and use Cephaly during their pregnancy. But if you have any specific condition, feel free to reach out to your healthcare provider. We can also support you in that too. Like we have an amazing medical team that can answer all your questions. And, so I feel like it's a great resource, but ultimately you don't need a prescription. If the device doesn't work for you, you can simply return it within 90 days. And what was the initial question?
Oh yeah, so where can people purchase it? How do
Yes.
people do that?
Absolutely. So they can purchase on CEFALY.com. We do have distributors in a few countries, like in the UK, in Italy, and a few more. So if you are from a specific country, I always encourage you guys to reach out to us, and we can direct them to our distributors. But we also sell on Amazon and TikTok Shop. But just saying, I'm pretty sure Adrian has a link in bio that you
Yeah.
wanna take advantage of. So definitely there.
Yeah, and I did just drop my affiliate link in the comments where you can save 15% off. And that link that I just posted, that's something that is you can combine with some other sales that Cephaly's having. So stay tuned, like November, December, they are having some giant sales, and my affiliate will like bump that up even further. We had a great question just added in the chat by Chris. Is it covered by insurance?
So we're currently not covered by insurance. We are HSA and FSA eligible. We did hear about people submitting that the case to their insurance, but we cannot guarantee the outcome. So we are HSA and FSA eligible, and we also offer payment options with Affirm and PayPal credit. So you can pay at your own convenience, and of course, take advantage of Adrian's coupon code as well for an extra 15% off. So
And
yeah,
hopefully in the future, that might be possible. I know I have heard, I don't know if you can verify that for veterans, I've heard some
yes,
veterans been able through
yes,
veterans, their health
yeah,
insurance that it is covered.
indeed. If you are a veteran, feel free to reach out to your VA clinic, and they will help you out with that because definitely is covered by insurance if you are a veteran. So yeah.
Great. Yeah, thanks for clarifying that about HSA and FSAs. That's been helpful. All right, so let's go dive into questions that you submitted. They're kind of worth a few different categories. One about electrodes, the different kinds of treatment, and like how to navigate the intensity. So maybe we'll start with electrodes. Carrie and Marcia asked, how often should we change the electrodes? How can we lengthen the life of the electrode? How do we know when it's time to change it?
Great question. If you're a newbie, we always recommend purchasing maybe two packages of electrodes. This way, you can kind of understand the cadence. There's no one rule. There's not just one rule. It really depends on your skin. If you have a very oily skin, the electrode might last a little less than people that have a dry skin. We do recommend washing your face with just soap and water before you apply your electrode on your forehead. And finish your skincare routine after you do your treatment. That's because the moisturizers or all the skincare products they contribute to ruining the quality of the electrode. If you want to make it last a little bit longer, we always recommend adding a drop of water to the electrode to rehydrate it again. Maybe you can get a few more usage out of it, but ultimately, at first try to understand the reaction that the electrode has to your skin and kind of understand how long it's going to take. You will know that the electrode is not longer good, it's not good anymore because it's going to have bubbles in the
Mm,
back of the electrode. I don't know if you guys can see it, but when it's bubbly like that, it means that it's not good anymore and it's not sticky anymore. It
mm.
won't attach basically. And you don't want that because that can compromise your experience with the device as well.
Great tip. Yeah, I didn't know the little bit about the bubbles. And I know other tips people have shared and from Cephaly is refrigerating the electrodes. Is that right?
Yes, yes,
And I know you guys have like a automatic electrode shipping program where you
we
get
do.
one like every month. So is that kind of like ideally maybe 20 to 30 tries of of wearing it that it typically lasts?
So we have three different packages. So first of all, if you subscribe to Electrode, you save 5% plus free shipping. And you can decide the cadence. It can be every 30, every 60, or 90 days. Because There's people that have like they use the electrodes for a long, long time. So it really depends on your skin in that case. But yes, we do have a subscription program. So definitely take advantage of that.
Okay. Yeah, and I'll share my little tips. I usually try to get like 30 days out of mine, and I just automatically, like the first of the month, I just switch it out. So it's just easy to remember. Uh the electrodes come in like a little Ziploc sort of container. And so in order to preserve like my old ones, there's usually like 3 in there. I'll kind of take one out that I'm using and then keep the other ones just zipped up forever. And then I kind of just open and close a new one for my current electrode. So I'm not like drying out the fresh ones. So lots of little hacks to help you lengthen the life. But that's really helpful to hear some of those tips. Okay, then we've got some questions about the different types of treatment. So Jess asks, is there a maximum number of acute treatments you can use in a day? So the acute meaning if you have a migraine attack, the acute treatment helps bring the pain level down.
Good question. So we recommend if you need an acute treatment, for example, that you're having a migraine attack, we recommend doing the acute treatment, which is a 60-minute treatment. If one treatment doesn't work, you can do one more right after.
Okay.
So after that, we recommend waiting at least an hour and a half to do more. Our clinicals, they are they are for 2 acute treatments. Our clinical studies, they show 2 acute treatments and 1 preventative treatment every day. Um, in terms of efficiency, but by all means, do what works for you. We hear people doing multiple acute treatments a day. We just recommend, waiting an hour and a half after 2 treatments. So if you do 2 acute, wait an hour and a half, and then still do your preventative treatment. They're actually 2 different treatments, so we encourage you guys to do both,
Yeah.
even if you need an acute.
Good to know. Yeah, and that was my question, which I do get from a lot of people. So it sounds like you can do the acute, an hour, multiple times a day if you wait after 2 treatments, and you could still do the acute. Is that something you could do kind of back to back, or should you spread that out? Is there info
We
on?
we don't recommend waiting. If you do 2 acutes, wait an hour and a half and then do the preventative. Otherwise, actually, they recommend doing the preventative in the morning.
Okay.
Our sales team recommend doing the preventative in the morning and then doing the acute if you need it. Like if you feel a migraine attack, to start with the preventative and then do the acute. But there's no rules. Really, what works for you is probably the best option. The migraine experience is so different that it takes a few trials to understand what like what works for you.
Yeah,
That,
well, that's really
yeah.
good to know that, right? You can add multiple treatments in one day. I think yeah, a
Yes.
lot of people have asked me that, so that's great to clarify. And then, how long again, with migraine being so personal, how long do people often notice whether it's like an acute treatment? Hey, is that working? Or for prevention, like how long does it take for people to notice a benefit? I mean, just sharing my experience, it was a pretty quick. When I first started, it was within a month. But I don't know if you had information on how long it takes for people to see the results.
Yes. So according to our clinicals, the preventative takes 2 to 3 months to show results. Like in your experience, it can take less than that, it can take weeks.
Mhm.
But our clinicals, they stay 2 to 3 months. That's why we have a 90-day money back guarantee because we really want you guys to try the device for those 3 months, and then if it doesn't work, you can return it. But for what concerns the acute treatment, it should be an immediate relief. So, yeah.
Great, that's helpful. And Pam asked, in terms of using the treatment, and there is a way to adjust the intensity on the treatment, is it better to just kind of press it and let it do its thing, or to increase it? How do we know how to adjust the intensity when we are doing a
Great
treatment?
question. Great question. If you are new with Cephaly, we definitely encourage you to start really low. The intensity will rise, will increase in the next 14 minutes. So at first, if you reach the highest intensity, it might not be so pleasant for you. You want to build your tolerance. So we encourage you to start low and little by little build your tolerance and increase it. How do you start? How do you stabilize the intensity? It's very easy. You just place the electrode on your forehead and then the device. Then you will start feeling like a tingling sensation. And once it gets comfortable for you, press the device one time, press the button one time, and the intensity will stay the same. Vice versa, if you want to ramp it up, keep pressing. You will hear like a beep, 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 beep. And that's how you know that the intensity will go higher. At the same time, you can use the CC app.
Mhm.
So you can use our newest generation of CC and do it automatically on your phone. So you can control the treatment with the app.
So with the intensity, is it the case where we're trying to get it as intense as we can tolerate it? Is that more effective, or how does that work in terms
No,
of efficacy?
no, we don't. You don't need to reach the highest intensity for the treatment to be effective. There's people that find it super beneficial and they never get past 20% intensity, really what works for you. But it's a common misconception that if you don't reach the highest
Mhm.
intensity, but take it as a workout, right? You want to build your tolerance little by little. And even if you don't get to the highest weight, that's okay. You're still working out. It's still effective for you. So yeah.
Okay, great. And for people who maybe try the Cephally, it's new, and for some people, right, it takes a little bit to adjust to those sensations. I'm at the point now, I've used it so long, it's like I don't even notice it. I just almost feels like a little massage. But I know in the beginning, it took some getting used to, and for others, there might be more sensitivity. Do you have tips on how to acclimate to those sensations or make it feel a little easier, especially if someone's new?
So definitely start low
Yeah.
and build your tolerance over time. That's the best advice that I can give you guys. Just start low, what it feels, and yeah, just
Mhm.
start low and build your tolerance over time.
Yeah. So if you're someone who has been using it for a while, you know how to use it, it feels okay, um, then it is recommended to try to increase the intensity through the button or through the
You
app.
can, you
Yeah.
can. And if it's uncomfortable for you, you can take it off and then repeat the treatment. But yeah,
Okay. Got it.
tiny steps, baby steps.
Yeah, and that's a good question. So sometimes maybe yeah, the device comes off or the electrodes off, and if you need to end it early, what is the best way to continue on? Like, do you just start the whole thing over again,
Yes.
or yeah, tell us about that.
Unfortunately, you can't go back
Yeah.
to where you stopped. You have to repeat the treatment again. But yeah, maybe that's a new idea for our next generations of Cephali in the future, you know.
Mhm.
But for now, once you stop the treatment, you have to start it from scratch again.
And there's not a danger if for some reason you need to stop in the middle. Um,
No, our side effects, they're all reversible. If anything happens, the device is malfunctioning, is device error, uh, the device is not like it doesn't have um unreversible side effects. I was
yeah.
looking for the word.
Yeah, got it. All right. And yeah, you mentioned on the topic of side effects, are there things that people should look for? It's definitely, I know from experience, it's very different than like a pharmaceutical treatment. I mean, there's
Yes.
such a minimal amount, but are there things that, whether it's the electrodes or anything that people experience?
So, if good question, because we do get a lot of questions about the electrode. If the quality of the gel bothers you, we have a hypoallergenic line. So you can opt for the hypoallergenic electrodes. But the most common side effect is the sleepiness. So the sedative effect, which, as I said, they're all reversible. And that's why we recommend, one thing that you can do is implementing the preventative treatment to your nighttime routine. That
Mm,
way, if you feel tired, you're ready to go to bed.
yeah. Great. Yeah, and I appreciate you sharing, that to give it a good 60 to 90 days before you tell. I think
Yes.
with a lot of migraine treatments, especially if it's something new or it's uncomfortable or side effects, people sometimes give up early or maybe they're like, oh, it didn't do much. But with all migraine treatment, you got to give it a good couple months before evaluating, how much it's changed. And so don't give it up after a week. Keep trying.
Especially for the preventative. That's really what makes a huge difference in your migraine routine. If you do the preventative every day, that's what really that's the important treatment that you want to do. And not a lot of people know this, but they're acute and prevent. They're actually two separate treatments and
Hmm.
they run at different hertz. So
Okay.
the prevent runs at 60 hertz.
Mm.
Yes. And the acute runs at 100 hertz.
Okay.
So they're different.
Yeah. Okay. Uh, we've talked about, I've also had people ask, can cephaly be combined with other types of migraine treatments? Like specifically, I've been asked about Botox. Are there any
Yes.
challenges with
No,
multiple treatments?
just wait. If you do both, just wait 72 hours, I believe.
Okay.
You can find it in our FAQs, like the exact number of hours. But just wait a little while before you do your cephaly treatment. That's all. But
Yeah.
yes, definitely you can combine cephaly to other treatments, whether they are pharmaceutical or other neuromodulation devices. We always encourage you, though, if you have specific questions, always reach out to your healthcare provider. They'll know better.
Mm-hmm. And when, kind of gauging when to use Cephaly and which type of treatment, the preventative, that's the one we're just going to be using every day. Again, that's what I do every single morning. It's like brushing my teeth. I just do my Cephaly. But let's say someone's in the very early stages of a migraine attack. Maybe they just have a little bit of head pain, or maybe they experience those prodrome, like you're getting tired, cranky, or craving food. Is that a good time to do an acute treatment, a
Yes.
preventative? Yeah.
That's the best time, actually.
Mm,
If you can spot a migraine attack earlier, it works even better. So we
we would do
recommend
the
as soon
acute
as you
one there.
to do the acute, exactly. So if you know that you're feeling a migraine attack coming on, make sure you put your cephaly on with the acute treatment to get rid of it.
Yeah, great. And more neurologists are supporting this idea of combining treatments, especially for people who are more chronic. So yeah, you can use your Cephally device and you can take something as well. Like doesn't have to be either or, to really just get as much as support as you can.
Yeah.
Really helpful. We chatted about using Cephally during pregnancy or breastfeeding, and I'll share my story. Really, Cephally is what enabled me to have my second daughter because I was totally dependent on medication for migraine, and I was like, how can I just drop all my meds and get pregnant when you can't take any meds? And Cephally saved the day, and I didn't have any issues. But I don't know if this would be a good time to just chat about, what's in store for that, about the pregnancy registry. Oh, you're muted though.
So, thank you for sharing your story. Of course, we are, there is there is patients that use Cephally while they're pregnant, or they're breastfeeding. But we don't have any clinicals. All we know is that Cephally is not a contraindication. So we recommend and encourage you guys to speak to your healthcare provider. But we know that a lot of women use it and it's effective for them. So I appreciate your personal journey and sharing that with your community. Maybe you can just bring it to your neurologist as an option, and who knows, maybe can change your pregnancy journey as well.
Mhm.
Migraine during pregnancy is not so fun, right? Because you can't take a lot of medicines. So
Yeah. And is the registry now out for people or
not yet. We're
got
still
it.
working on it,
Got it. All right.
but we're
That's
working on
coming, a
that.
little preview. Um, and tell us about maybe what's coming later this month in terms of sales. What can we look forward to?
So, as you guys know, you know the drill. November is the period where we run our biggest sale of the year. So definitely stay tuned. We will be posting all the information soon. Adrian knows. Very soon. So stay tuned on, you know, her account, her page, also on our page. But make sure that you use her affiliate link, and yeah.
Yeah, so this is a great time to try CEFALY if you haven't used it before. And if people have older models, is there a way to upgrade?
Yes, so we have a trade-in program. So you can give us a call and we can help you just with the trade-in process. So yeah, if you have an older generation, you can definitely bring it in and we'll give you a coupon for that.
Good. Well, we'll see. We'll open it up. If there's other questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. Is there anything, Chiara, that you would like to leave our viewers with to know about CEFALY?
Yes. Number one is CEFALY has changed a lot of people's lives and a lot of people's migraine experience. It's a great device because it empowers you. And you don't have to use pharmaceutical if you don't want to, you know. But if you do want to use them, you can combine CEFALY with multiple treatments that you're doing. But one thing that I really love about CEFALY is that it doesn't corner you with a purchase. If the device doesn't work for you, you can return it. If you feel like you need education, meaning that you don't know how to use it, we have an amazing coach program. You can simply go on our website and click on Getting Started, and then CEFALY Coach and book as many calls as you need. Whether you're not a CEFALY user yet, you are on the fence, you need more information, you need to know how to use the device, you can schedule as many coach calls as you want because we really understand that you need support with the device, and we're here for that.
Yeah, yeah, there's so many opportunities to get help, but also know like you can send it back. It's worth a try when you have such a great guarantee. And another thing, obviously, Cephalo's been really effective for me, but I think what I also appreciate, maybe compared to some other devices, like the upkeep and costs to keep your Cephali are very low. The electrodes are, maybe 25 bucks for a pack, right? With like a few of them. But compared to other devices, it's not like you have to be paying a lot of money every month to keep that. So it looks like we have answered so many questions. Even though I've used Sevly for almost 10 years, I still learned something today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really appreciated learning about how you can use multiple treatments in a day, how to know when your electrodes, time to chuck that. So thank you so much, Chiara, for being here, for answering our questions, so more people can get help, can get support, can try this really life-changing device. Thank you.
Of course, and thank you for having me. Thank you for giving us a space, and for letting us borrow your platform just to spread awareness over CEFALY, and for sharing your story, and for all the people's questions as well. Really appreciate your interest.
All right, thank you. We'll see you
Thank
all
you.
next time. Thank you all.